What's up, guys? Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I'm super excited to introduce this new series that we're going to do about dopamine and how it can take your life to the next level and put you in the driver's seat of life instead of the passenger so you can get the things you want instead of blowing around like a leaf in the wind.
All right, so many of you may be wondering why dopamine is so important to focus on, and the reason for this is that society is really built on making you seek different kinds of dopamine that we weren't used to when we were cavemen and back in like the old days. So back then, dopamine was released when you would do some really challenging activity that required a lot of fight or flight energy and focus. And then after you would do that, you would get a release of dopamine. So then at that point, you would feel satisfied, and then that reward would encourage you to keep doing those things. But the problem with society nowadays is that they're releasing so many short-term gratification things. Like we can name a bunch of them, like porn, series, junk food, a lot of stuff. And when you're constantly hooked on this garbage of short-term dopamine, you're kind of getting rid of that long-term uh long-term like satisfaction of doing something that requires more focus and discipline. So the reason you should essentially care about switching your dopamine system to focus on things that require more focus and delayed gratification is that if you do get used to these short-term dopamine spikes, you're going to kind of mess your reward system so that when you do embark on things that require more discipline, you're not gonna feel that satisfaction because you're so used to getting the dopamine right away. So we're here on this channel, we're gonna teach you how to switch your dopamine from just short-term, short-lived things to kind of delaying that dopamine, but getting greater, more better rewards.
Yeah, man, that's right, man. I can't emphasize that enough. And you can see proof of this through the corporations. I mean, the corporations are literally like monetizing your dopamine. They know the true value of it. You see women, on every single ad on the road. You see how big the porn industry is and how addicted people are to that. And then even like how they create social media, they do it to maximize how much time you spend on the app. And they're doing that by like short circuiting your dopamine. And they even use like Vegas casino strategies to make you hooked on the app the same way they get people to stay in Vegas casinos.
All right, so if you do stay the course with these short dopamine spikes, you're really gonna mess your life up. And this is gonna start off as something maybe that doesn't really affect you. You know, you're gonna indulge in some junk food, you're gonna watch some TV series, and then you're gonna go back to work. You won't feel much different, right? But let's say a month down the road, you're gonna gain a few pounds and you're gonna start to notice that your focus is fragmented. So what happens then? Well, you might think, okay, like now it's easier to snap out. I'm noticing these bad habits, but that's not how it works. Society is built in a way to make the problem snowball. So once you gain a few pounds and once you realize your focus is weakened, you're actually going to be in a weaker mind state to fix these bad habits. So you're just going to keep going more and more. You're going to start adding even more things, like you might stop going to the gym, you might stop going out, you're just going to stay in your house. And then next thing you know, 2 years down the road, you are a fucking loser. Like your life's going to be actually fucked and your goals are just going to slip away from you. So here on this channel, we're going to really help you how to snap out of those things. Maybe not right away, but we're going to teach you how to do it slowly so you can really eliminate all these distractions and stupid dopamine spikes that are really fucking your brain up. And it's going to teach you how to delay that gratification and maybe eliminate all these short-term pleasures and focus on things that might kind of feel bad at first, but once you do achieve success in those things, you're going to feel this like calmer, steady buzz of dopamine that's not going to be like so reliant on short-term pleasures. And by doing this, you're really going to start to notice that your life's improving. You know, it might take a little bit at first, but once you really get into this habit of constantly delaying your gratification and focusing your energy away from those stupid short-term dopamine things to your actual life long-term goals, you're going to really start to change the circuitry of your brain, and you're going to notice your life really start to change.
Yeah, man. Like you said, I can't even emphasize that enough. And it's really, you got to stick with it. You got to keep telling yourself that the big rewards will come. You're not going to see them immediately, as you mentioned. It's going to take a while, just like going to the gym. You go for just a few days. After that, even a week, maybe even 2 weeks, you're just going to feel pain. just pain. You're not going to see any benefit right away. But if you stick with it for a month, 2 months, it'll be worth it in the end. That's something we can tell you for sure. So that's what this channel is all about, helping you guys, you know, get your dreams and put yourself in the driver's seat of life and do the things that you want to do. So we're just gonna, obviously do more common things, like common habits like food, exercising, different comfort challenges, and meditation and those types of things. But then also tell you little tricks on how to do it.
All right, so everyone has these little common habits they can cut out, like Ryan said, there's so many of them and everyone indulges in different things, but there are like a lot of habits that everyone does, whether you like it or not, that you can remove. So once you do start cutting these things out, you're going to start asking yourself like, okay, now I don't do these things, now what? Well, this is where goal setting comes in, and you need to really get in touch with yourself. Things like meditating, going on walks, socializing, spending time alone for a little bit can help you really get back to that inner child and realize what are your long-term goals. So what you should do is then figure out how are you going to achieve these goals and then use that new dopamine system to attack those goals. And everyone's going to do this a different way, but you just need to plan it out and put steps, monthly, weekly, yearly goals, and then you're going to want to start hitting them. And the reason this is so important is that once you switch from that negative short-term dopamine to these longer lasting delayed gratifications, your overall mood will improve so much that it's going to complement your ability to focus on like big, really impressive goals in your life. And focusing on this positive, good version of dopamine is going to also remove a lot of bad symptoms in your life. Like a lot of people have depression, but by doing this, you're going to slowly realize that lifting until you don't have it anymore, because your dopamine system is fixed and you're engaging in really good, high quality behaviors during the day.
Yeah. So true, so true. And also, we understand that a lot of the stuff that we're saying, I know you guys have all heard before. It's not like we're saying anything brand new. It's not like we're probably even the first, second, or third, or even fourth channel you've seen on this type of stuff. There's so many channels out there, and I know you probably been on YouTube watching this shit forever. We're not just stopping there at the conceptual level. We know you guys understand it conceptually and logically. The hard part is actually applying, actually doing it. That's why we're putting real challenges out there for you to do and how to go about those challenges. And like we'll explain on if what happens in one situation, how you can overcome that, and more specifics on how to actually get it done, the actual action behind doing it, not just talking about it endlessly. So we're really excited to start this channel with you guys. And we're hoping that we can help you guys, again, to just get what you want out of life. Stop being the little ducks of society, just doing what everyone says, but being an alpha wolf and just owning it and doing what you want to do.